Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons.
Play action now. Cousins. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25.
First and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to make the tackle. Cousins now from the 50. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And that'll make it third down. Well, these two teams, the Falcons and the Vikings, have met 30 times since the Falcons' inaugural year in the league back in 1966. And the Vikings winning 19 of those games. But maybe the most memorable game between the two was a Falcons victory. That was in the NFC Championship game back in January. And that is intercepted by last year's NFL leader, DeMonte Casey. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Now the third leading rusher in the NFL last year, Todd Gurley. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a second and 11.
At the 31-yard line.
Ready, we're ready, we're ready. Check. Check right. Get up.
From the gun, it's Ryan. And now he's going to use his legs. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's third down.
It's a gain of a yard, and it's third down.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down. From the shotgun, Ryan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Anthony Zettel popping in for the sack.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Vikings will take over here, first and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave them with a third down and 6 to go. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Cousins now. He may try and run for this. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On play action, Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, 61 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And that one needed a little time to develop because he started lined up out wide left. He caught that on the right side of the field.
And you're exactly right about the time, because that's not going to be a quick developing pattern, but also great sight lines for the guy throwing the ball to see a receiver cross his face and his sight line from one side of the field to the other. That usually attracts your attention. If you think he's open, you go ahead and deliver it, as we just saw there.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Gurley. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Guys. Check 22, check 24. Check 50, check 50. Hey, switch gears.
On the toss, it's Gurley. 7 yards there and a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 47. Now it's Gurley. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets them back now for 2nd down.
Back 25.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Ryan. He's going to dump it off to Gurley. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Field goal would have been a decent length at 55 yards. They keep the kicking unit on the sideline. They're going for it. Here we go. It's Gurley. And they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. Todd Gurley unable to get it past the line. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 42. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Here's Cousins. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Dennard.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Ready, blue 80. At 25. Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant. Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
After the interception, here's Ryan. This one caught by Ridley. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Ready, right 25. Right there in the middle, 55. Squeeze, squeeze, double, double.
Off the play fake. Here's Ryan. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 3rd and inches.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Check, 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 check. Whip, 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 whip. Watch the whip. You jet bomber. You jet bomber.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. Well, I don't think Gurley got there. Looks like the defense held him back. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
They'll try and throw for it with Ryan. And that's caught by Smith. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it anyway. Extreme confidence, it looks like.
Yeah, but I bet the defense is going to remember this one, right? They kind of rubbed their nose in it. Ryan in the offense with a 1st and 10, and he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. Play action. It's Ryan. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Hayden Hurst there to make the grab as they are now on the board here in the first half. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Gostkowski the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he is out of bounds here on the return.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They had the interception last drive, led to the tying touchdown, so 7-7 the score as they begin 1st and 10. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 24-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Cousins. Flushed out right. He's going to take off with it. A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. It's caught inside the 25. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And that makes the score 14-7. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They trail a 1-score deficit, 14-7 as they come up 1st and 10. They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter, 14-7. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Now a nice throw here, right side. He hauls it in. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a 1st down for the Falcons.
Calvin Ridley more than justified his first-round selection in 2018. 64 catches as a rookie and found the end zone 10 times. Did a nice job getting open right there and picking up a 1st down.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Daniil Hunter. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10.
Well, that's the 2nd time he's been sacked so far in the first half, and if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so they can throw the football.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And what a return as he brings us with all the way back to the 25-yard line.
Well, you were backed up into a 2nd and long, but instead of trying to get the yardage back in chunks, he's trying to get it all back at once. And this defense was just lying in wait, and they're there to pick this one off.
Not today, you are. Not today.
Following the interception, Cousins. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. Bailey got the extra point, and it's now 21-7. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be taken in at the 1.
Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 first down, and you're almost in field goal position.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. On third down, they'll run it with Gurley. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. They get 5, and it will go ahead and move the chains. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. Being chased out left. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Second and 10. It's Ryan again. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Now they face a third and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Dancing to his left. That's caught over the middle by Hurst. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys that just gave up that play.
The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
A first down throw for Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. Final play of the half, Cousins. He's going to air one out. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 17. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we are at halftime here in the opener of the 2019 regular season. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, we'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect,
and he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
On third down, Ryan. The open man is Smith. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 25 yards that time.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
17 yards and a first down for Atlanta.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Ryan. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence, or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Operating from the gun, Ryan. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, 43 yards. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. From the gun, Ryan. And that one's complete to Gurley. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Ryan. And he gets this one to Ridley, complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards there and a first down for the Falcons.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Ryan now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Here's Gurley now out of the gun. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Another carry now for Gurley. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Falcons on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 5. From the gun, Ryan. He gets it to Gurley, complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
59, ready. Right 25.
On 1st down, it's Gurley. Some tough running, but it only gets him to the 45-yard line. Eric Kendricks, the Vikings' leading tackler a season ago, in on the stop.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
From the 45 on 2nd down, Ryan, he's going to float this one deep right side. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. A great read, and it's picked off.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Out of his end zone, Cousins. No gain on the dump off. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Running for the first time with a fullback, C.J. Ham. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So a little breathing room now. 1st and 10 at the 17. On the ground, it's Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Rudolph on the receiving end from Cousins. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Tack McKinley made his way into the backfield. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. Lets it fly for Thielen. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. A big play there, Cousins to Thielen, and even 50 yards.
1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and minicamps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Cousins here to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results? Interceptions.
They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
It's not something that we see every game now. Todd Gurley held below 50 yards, and we are in the 4th quarter. Got to give a lot of credit. They've done a nice job of bottling him up.
They absolutely have. And a lot of times he can still find holes, but there haven't been the holes there. The offensive line hasn't created much space. They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley.
And a little bit of a consolation prize there. He's into the end zone. Won't win them the game, but they do get the score with all zeros showing.
But some fantasy players are really happy with that score.
Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Well, on the one side, if you try to take away something positive from this game, they played to the final whistle, getting the touchdown there on the last play. But still, all for naught, really.
Yeah, I'd say give them points for positivity. I like that. That part is good. But I often wonder, when the game is settled and the clock is run out, do we really need to kick the extra point?
Oh, yeah. It's silly. It's silly.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I know that people have explained before, well, you got to play it all the way through. Come on, this thing was done.
So for the Vikings, that'll be a happy locker room as they start this season 1-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves.